If you really want to understand just how remarkable Tyler Henry's life is, you can't just skim the highlights. You have to take in the whole wild, sometimes unbelievable ride. Tyler Henry isn't your average 29-year-old, and he's definitely not your average celebrity. If you haven't heard of him, he's the psychic medium everyone talks about. You know, the one who landed his own reality show, reading celebrities' fortunes and connecting them with lost loved ones. Tyler became Hollywood medium before he could legally order a glass of wine. 1 minute he was just a teenager from Hanford, this tiny town in California's Central Valley, and the next thing you know, he's sitting across from the Kardashians giving them readings. At 19. No pressure, right? Tyler's got this weird kind of warmth. It radiates off him, even through a phone screen. You scroll past him on Instagram, 1.2 million people do, and you just think, man, he'd be the guy you hope you get seated next to on a flight. The kind who makes small talk feel less small, who always has another story. His fans? Absolutely dedicated. We're talking fierce devotion that goes way beyond curiosity about life after death. They don't just want readings, they want reassurance, comfort, a little light in the dark. And this week, Tyler gave everyone something big to process. Out of nowhere, he posts a photo. Him in a hospital bed, hospital band wrapped around his head but smiling, this soft, genuine, relief-laced smile that says, "I made it." The caption reads, "Brain surgery was a success. Great prognosis, incredible staff, and I feel so thankful to be surrounded by my family." Typical Tyler, hopeful, understated, heartfelt. And then, of course, there's a joke, because that's his style. The tumor, not my brain, that is. Even freshly out of brain surgery, he keeps things light. You can't help but love the guy for it. He'll be off his feet for a month while he recovers, but his outlook's good, and he made sure to let his followers know the virtual readings and little giveaways are still on. It's who he is, always thinking about his people, making sure no one's left waiting or worrying any more than they already do. But here's where Tyler's story really starts to twist. This wasn't his first dance with brain surgery. Go back to when he was just 18, barely an adult, fresh out of high school, trying to make sense of his place in the world and what it meant to be gifted. An MRI found a congenital cyst, something he'd been born with that sat quietly in his brain his whole life. Until, suddenly, it didn't. 1 minute he's giving readings to neighbors in his backyard, still baby-faced and earnest, and then his world shifts. 1 week after that hometown photo, he's in a hospital facing an emergency brain operation. He wrote about it later with the kind of grace that just knocks you flat, how facing his own mortality so young made him understand the gap between life and death, and that instead of stopping him, it actually pressed him deeper into his purpose. He became more certain, not less, and somehow that clarity stuck. Tyler's body hasn't exactly made things easy. Along with the brain cyst, he was born with congenital blebs, little pockets in his lungs that can explode into chaos. In 2019, his lung collapsed. Again, before 30, he's chalked up more hospital hours than some people do their entire lives. He doesn't pretend it's easy. He's wondered aloud, why would a gift like his come with such a price? In interviews, he's talked about that question, whether his brain cyst is tangled up with his abilities, if being open to other realms takes something away from his own body. And who could blame him for asking? There's something haunting about a person who spends his days helping others process loss, sitting with his own vulnerability, over and over, and still choosing to show up. But he does. Always. And if all that isn't wild enough, wait until you hear what happened just before his surgery. 1 week before facing another brain operation, Tyler Henry got married. He and Clint Godwin, his partner for nearly a decade, slipped quietly into a Beverly Hills courthouse and got hitched. No showy posts, no engagement buzz. Just one sweet photo and the words, "Today we are married. Life with you is an endless sleepover with my best friend. And life's just getting started." I mean, come on, doesn't that just hit you in the heart? At the end of the day, what more could anyone want than an endless sleepover with their favorite human? Tyler kept it simple, but he slipped in something too. "I knew when we met nearly a decade ago that you would be the one, and that conviction only grew stronger with every day." best premonition ever. How can you not grin at that? Leave it to the psychic to call the love of his life his best premonition. The thing between Tyler and Clint goes back to 2016. Clint first saw Tyler on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where else, and reached out for a reading. Tyler instantly sensed there was something important waiting for Clint, connecting him to his recently lost grandfather. It was deep, it was healing, and it marked the start of something bigger than either of them expected. What started as a reading became a family. Just like that. 9 years later, they're still side by side, world spinning as always. Tyler posts about them in ways that just get you. Photos in wetsuits, windswept and grinning at the beach. Or a recent birthday post for Clint that reads, "Hurtling toward 30 isn't so bad with coconut cake and good company." Honestly, this is the dream, isn't it? Whether he's talking about fate or just the simple luck of finding your person, there's a sense of relief, a safe place away from all the heaviness he sits with day after day. So let's really drink this in for a second. In the space of 1 week, Tyler got married and then had brain surgery. He announced both to his followers with the same tone, hopeful, a little bit cheeky, and full of gratitude. No melodrama, no self-pity, just this grounded wisdom, the kind that comes from someone who's stared down the worst life has to throw at him and decided to look for the good anyway. He's 29. He's survived 2 brain surgeries, a collapsed lung, and a parade of medical scares that would have most people paralyzed with fear. And he's still showing up with a joke, a thank you, and an open invitation for his community to keep moving forward with him. The real beauty in Tyler's story, it's something that echoes for all of us as we move through life. Good times and hard times don't line up neat and orderly. They crash into each other. You can get married one day and land in a hospital the next. Joy and grief overlap. Love and fear share the same couch. We don't get to choose timing. We just get to choose how we show up. Maybe the best we can do is find someone who turns life's storms into an endless sleepover. Or laugh a little even when it hurts. Or, like Tyler, help others even while you're still figuring yourself out. He's earned every bit of celebration thrown his way. And when you look at the whole picture, a life lived messy, bright, vulnerable. It's more than extraordinary. Tyler Henry, here's to your wild, brave life. Heal up, hold your people tight, and come back soon. The world needs your light, and we're lucky just to watch you shine.